What's up, everybody? Man, I just want to touch on something real quick. Getting in shape and what happens when you do it. As you can see in my thumbnail, I used to be about 30, I don't know, somewhere between 30 and 35% body fat. I have now gotten down to, I haven't gotten a DEXA scan or any professional scan, just by the eye test. I don't know. I would say I'm somewhere between 18 to 19 now. And I just kind of want to speak on my experience of, you know, where I come from and where I'm at. You know, I started working out about 4 years ago. And in working out, you know, I couldn't do a single push-up. I couldn't do one push-up from the ground, lay down on your stomach and push up. I couldn't do that. I had to start my push-ups mid-air because I was extremely overweight. I was extremely fat. So, you know, I was in my apartment and I just started doing 100 push-ups a day, 100 sit-ups a day. And I made sure I was consistent doing that and making sure that I ate about 25 to 2,800 calories a day. At that time, I was not in the gym at all. Like I said, I started doing my push-ups and sit-ups in my apartment. I was foreign to the gym, no concept of when to go, where to start. I had been in the gym before, you know, messing around with some weights and stuff. But as far as a workout plan and being regimented and being consistent, that wasn't me. So over time, you know, I started losing weight. I ended up moving in with a good friend of mine, who's more like a brother. And he really got me into the gym. And from there, I started going on walks. I started going to the gym consistently. I started seeing some muscle gains and started to like the person who I was becoming. And over the course of 4 years, you might be thinking, wow, 4 years, you went between 30 to 35% body fat to 20%, and it took you 4 years. Not exactly. That's just how long I've been in the gym and working out. Honestly, I would say I have started seeing major progress in my physique over the last 6 months. And specifically the last 6 months, because that's when I started taking my nutrition seriously. So once I started taking my nutrition seriously, I started to see drastic change in my body. I really started to slim down. And, you know, over the last 4 years, I've been working out consistently. And so I've built muscle. I have muscle under my frame. It was just hiding under all the fat. And so, you know, over these past 6 months, I've fluctuated. When I started originally, before I started working out, I was as high as 300 pounds. I got down to 212 pounds. And I did that the first time when I got down to 212, that was doing strictly cardio, you know. I mean, no, I was in the gym, but I didn't prioritize protein. I'll say that. I went to the gym, I lifted heavy. I didn't track my weights. So I was eyeballing everything based on how I felt. You know, I wasn't saying, okay, Donovan, you bench press 160 pounds yesterday. Let's make sure we bench press 160 pounds today. You know, I didn't have that tracking and that progressive overload. So I basically went off how I felt, not off discipline, off what needed to be done for that day. So when you combine that and with all the walking I was doing after the gym, I would walk literally about an hour 10 minutes in the summertime. You know, I'm two-toned right now. I'm darker up top, and I'm covered up. When my body's covered up, I'm darker, and the rest of my skin, my arms are lighter. You get the point. The part of my skin that's showing in the sun is darker. Okay. So with that being said, that just shows how much walking I was doing in the summer. I was doing hella walking, a lot of walking. And on top of that, I was wearing a 20-pound weight vest while walking. And I was carrying two 10-pound dumbbells in each hand. I'm sorry, a 10-pound dumbbell in the left, 10-pound dumbbell in the right. So I was carrying about 40 pounds while walking about an hour 15 minutes every day. So with that being said, with weightlifting, but not really tracking my weight with that much cardio, yes, I dropped a lot of fat, but like a lot of people say, hey, if you don't do it the right way, you'll just become a smaller version of your fat self. And I wasn't really a smaller version of my fat self. I was a smaller version of myself, and I had some muscle because I was working out, but I wasn't maximizing my frame like I should have been. I wasn't capitalizing the way I should have been. So with that being said, yeah, y'all, I just kind of want to touch on where I'm at right now. Right now, I'm sitting at about 217 pounds. Well, let me go back. So I went down to 212, and then I kind of ballooned back up to about 250. I maintained there for a while. And then this past October, November, December, the last 3 months of 2025, me and my friend are working out, and we just came up with something called, not came up with something, we might have seen it on Instagram, whatever. We just said, fuck it, the Great Lock-In. You know, we called it the Great Lock-In. October, November, December, the last 3 months of 2025, we went hard in the gym. We pretty much did almost 2 a days daily, not really daily, but about 5. We were going hard in the gym. I ain't gonna lie, we was going hard. Those 3 months, we were really going hard. So my regular workout, I do about 15 sets. So when we did that Great Lock-In, I did about 30 sets. And I remember the day it was October 1st, we really pushed ourselves. And I was like, you know, I'm tracking my weights because I'm used to tracking at the time. Actually, I wasn't used to tracking because I didn't start tracking until that December, but I'm gonna get to that. I'm tracking for just the purposes of making sure we do our number of sets, but not really tracking the weights and how much weight we do and how many reps we do. So I'm like, hey, you know, usually I do about 14, 15 sets. We're up to 30 sets. So my homie looks at me, he's like, that's the new standard, 30 sets. So from now on, from that point forward, we started doing 30 sets. Doing that much volume and where we're lifting heavy, you know, we did some machine weights, we did some compound movements, we were doing everything. So we were in the gym, right? And that lasted about 30 days before we were like, hey, we really like killing ourselves. We can't keep doing this. So for October, I want to say we did like 30 sets every day in October. November, December, we kind of tailored off to our regular workout, which is about 15 to 20 sets. If you're on that creatine, it's going to be closer to 20 sets. Make sure you're getting your creatine. But I wanted to say that from December 1st is when I got into my iPhone. I opened up that notepad, and that's when I started tracking my calories and my protein consistently every day. And I still do it to this day. So that's when I started seeing progress. That's when I was like, okay, I'm lifting heavy, I'm tracking my weights, I'm tracking my reps, I'm progressively overloading. Every 2 weeks, I'm going to up the weight, whether it's 2.5 pounds, whether it's 5 pounds. Some X format of exercise that I'm doing is going to get elevated because I'm going to track it and I'm going to progressive overload. So that's what I started doing. And from this point now, like I said, I started at 300, went down to 212, I got back up to 250, 240, doing that Great Lock-In area from that October. And so from October to December, I got down, from December to now, I was about 243. So now I'm about 215, 216 right now. So 243. And when I started doing that in December, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. At 243, I was bench pressing, just for context. I'm 6'3". I was 243 pounds at the time, late December. I was bench pressing 225. At the max, I want to say I got about 10 times, right? When I started cutting, and I was like, okay, I got to drop the fat. I want to get jacked. I want to get my body fat. At the time, my body fat percentage was maybe 24%, 23%, if I had to guess. Like I said, I was lifting heavy in the gym, but I was kind of eating whatever until I started to lock in that December, and I started tracking my weight. So I went down from 243 to 215 now. Now I could bench press 225 about 8, almost 9 times. I might be able to get it 9 times. So this is what I'm getting at. I'm 217 now. I'm about 4 or 6% less body fat, and I'm bench pressing the same thing. I'm 1 rep shy of bench pressing what I was bench pressing when I was 243 pounds. So that lets you know you can build a muscle in the cut. When I first started that cut, I remember like 2 weeks into the cut, man, my bench press went from 225, 10 reps. It went down to like 5, 6 reps. I was like, whoa, like, yo, I'm struggling. And it was like almost a little deflating. Like, damn, did I really just get that much weaker over the course of 2 weeks, 3 weeks? But I trusted the process. I trusted my progress, and I worked out every day. I do some form of workout every day. I hit the gym, honestly, about 5 days a week. Closer to maybe 6 days a week, but just to be on the safe side, I say about 5 days a week. And I go on a walk with a 30-pound weight vest for 50 minutes at the park for about 50 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm coming down, and ultimately I want to get to that 15%. And you know, if I feel like it's sub 15% body fat, but you know, I want to just get to that threshold. I want to get to that 15%. So I kind of just want to share my story of what I've been, what I've done. This is my first video here on YouTube. I plan on posting more. Quality is going to get better. Cameras are going to get better. This is just the phone in my phone holder in my work truck right now. So I just kind of want to share that story with y'all. Man, get in shape, fellas. Start hitting the gym. Just do it. Just do it. I don't even know if I'm gonna edit this video, because this is my first video. I just want to kind of get it out there, and fuck it. You know what I'm saying? By the time I get 100 videos in, I can look back on this one and say, look at the progress I've made, along with look at the body progress that I made. So I might just keep this in there. I know I kind of did a lot of rambling. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna grow on YouTube. I just want to get my story out there and encourage everybody to do better, be better. Fellas, get in shape, get in the gym. If you can't get in the gym, the ground is everywhere you go. You can't go anywhere without seeing the ground. You can do some push-ups, you can do some sit-ups. All right? I know it's easier said than done, but stop caring about what people think. And I'm telling you, if you care about what people think, the better shape you get into, the more and more you're going to stop caring about what people think. Let me be honest with y'all. I don't know if this is vanity or not, but I'm not even at the 15% that I want to be, right? But I am very comfortable with who I am and who I'm becoming. Like, it used to be I didn't want to go out. I wanted to avoid certain places, you know. I didn't necessarily want to be seen like that. But now it's to the point where I really, like, I'm becoming to love the person I see in the mirror. You know, I've never been the person to avoid the mirror, even when I was overweight, because I knew I was overweight. You know what I mean? Like, consciously, I knew, like, Donovan, you're overweight. And I would always tell myself, like, I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna get in shape. When I was overweight, I would always tell myself, like, hey, one day I'm gonna get in shape. Like, I remember times eating bullshit, wings, Dr. Pepper. I'm a Dr. Pepper fiend to this day, still to this day. Shout out to my Dr. Pepper heads. Really, Mr. Pibb. Mr. Pibb, not the vanilla, what is it? The fuck was that? The with the cherry kick. Shout out. Yeah, that Mr. Pibb, that's whoo, chef's kiss. But anyway, yeah, I used to be a Dr. Pepper fiend, so you know, I kind of forgot where I was going with that. I got a little sidetracked. I'm at Quick Trip. It's a lot going on early morning. But fellas, get in shape. You know, if you can do some push-ups, do some push-ups. You can do some sit-ups, do some sit-ups. If you can't do any of those things, the most important thing is your diet. Your diet's going to be the most important thing. So I don't care what you say. If you can't exercise, you can put less food in your mouth. And if you're extremely overweight, here's the thing. You don't have to be super tailored. You don't have to go chicken and rice right now. You don't have to go do day one, just totally 180 your diet. You don't have to do that because it's not sustainable. You're not going to keep doing it. What you can do is, if you're used to eating 3,500 calories a day, 3,000 calories a day, which most people who are extremely overweight are, probably more than that, you can start eating 2,800 calories a day. Okay? And that's just you monitoring what you eat. You can cut off 700 calories. You can be in a 700 calorie deficit just by saying, hey, I don't need that extra Snicker. I don't need that large Dr. Pepper that I get at McDonald's. I can get a medium. You know, just cutting off those calories like that. And you're going to start to see yourself get into better shape. It's a lot of big bags at this Quick Trip. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. That I'm starting to get back I'm starting to remember what I was getting ready to say. So yeah, when I'm starting to become comfortable in my body now, I'm starting to like who I see in the mirror. I don't mind kind of being in public, y'all. I have a decent frame on me. Like I said, I'm not even 15% yet, yo. I'm not even in my final form yet. And I'm like, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing who I'm becoming. I'm seeing the reactions I'm getting. I'm seeing the respect I'm getting. I get a lot of what's up, big dog. I'm getting a you got it. I'm getting a lot of yes, sir. I'm getting let me tell y'all something, man. It's this dude at the gym, right? Whenever I'm doing bench press, whenever I'm doing flat bench press, I would say I'm lifting heavy. I'm definitely lifting heavy. I'm not gonna downplay it. I'm lifting heavy. On the incline bench, I'm loading up. On the incline, I'm loading up 235, 240. 225, and it's incline bench. So anybody who knows the incline, if your incline strength, you're doing 225 on that, you can do some pretty good strength, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, but that's besides the point. What I'm getting at is, whenever I'm lifting on a bench press or the incline bench, there's this guy who will stop what he's doing. Well, not stop what he's doing, but I feel like he kind of tailors his sets in between my sets. Like, if I'm working out, okay, this is what I'm getting at. Whenever I'm bench pressing, he runs over to spot me. He literally comes over to spot me. He's like, you got it, as he's running over to like spot me as I'm pushing up my reps. Sometimes he's overkill with it. Like, sometimes he comes over and he immediately starts touching the bar and he like starts to help me. He starts to spot me. I'm like, bro, I really didn't need that. But it's besides the point. It's like, I wasn't getting those reactions when I was overweight. People didn't randomly stop their workout to come over to help spot me. And this isn't one time. Every time I'm on the bench press, for every set I do, he runs over. Like, it got to the point where I was like, bro, you kind of annoying. But it's like, you got to take full benefit, bro. If you're on this body game journey, you're going to attract certain people. So I look at it like, hey, man, he's really admiring what I'm doing, if I'm being honest. Like, he's admiring what I'm doing. So, you know, you got to take the good with the bad. If you consider that bad. I don't really consider it bad, but it's a little annoying, but it's full benefit, you know. I wouldn't change. I wouldn't want to go back to who I was. So I'll say that. So shout out to that man. Shout out to him. I know he has a good heart. He has a good intention. So with that being said, fellas, this is my first video. I'm checking up out of here. I ain't even got an outro or intro. I don't even know what I'm calling myself. I ain't even got a name yet. But, you know, shout out to everybody in Body Gang community, bro. Shout out to just some people off the top of my head. I need to make a video where I'm really shouting y'all out. But shout out to Base Cole CEO. I watched your video. Shout out to Martel. Forgot his name. He's in Romania, I believe. Shout out to him. Shout out to Diesel Mac. Shout out to Noto Content. Shout out to Sage of Six Packs. Shout out to Luther Vasilian. I hope I said your last name right. Shout out to you, man. You really helped me. Shout out to man, I don't want to. It's a few other people that I know I'll be watching off the top of my head. I can't really think of. But shout out to the whole Just Body Game community, and shout out to you, the viewer. Let me tell you this. I used to be you. I don't want to say I used to be you like I'm way above you, but I used to be the person on the other side of the camera consuming content, watching content. And this is my first video. I've recorded videos before, you know. I've actually posted a video to YouTube before and I deleted it. Just didn't like the quality, didn't like how it was. But I plan on posting this video. But I say I used to be you as I used to be the consumer. And it feels good to just record this video, talk about where I've been, and just hopefully inspire the next man to really see what he can do in this life, you know. And it all starts with getting your body together. I got a bunch of things I could talk about, man. Y'all fellas, like just the energy you get from waking up in the morning. Let me tell y'all, when I used to dread being a morning person. Like, me waking up in the morning, and I'm talking 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I'm not even talking about I'm stuttering. Look, this is how passionate about this shit I am. I'm not even talking about my really early risers, like those 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I wouldn't know that. Fuck that. I'm just talking about 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. 8, really not really bad. 6, 7. Listen, I was not a morning person. Not a morning person. When I say 1 through 10, me rating myself getting up every day, if I had to get up every day at 6 o'clock in the morning, I would rate that morning as a 1 or a 2. Like, I dreaded getting up in the mornings. Like, probably a -4, I ain't gonna lie. And now that I've lost 80 pounds of fat, put on muscle, fellas, my mornings when I wake up now, I would be lying if I said I absolutely loved mornings, but I do not dread them. I do not dread them the same way I dreaded them before. I can wake up and now at 6 o'clock, and like I said, 1 through 10, that was probably a -4. Now me waking up at 6, 7 o'clock, it's probably about a 7. You know, it's tolerable. Honestly, it might be closer to an 8, but like, it's just, my energy is better. I'm tired when I'm in the bed, but it's like as soon as my feet hit the floor and I stand up, it's like, whoa, I have a different energy than I had before when I was 80 pounds overweight. I'm talking that walk around zombie look. You don't even like, you don't know how you standing up. You like, I just want to go back to the bed. I don't have that. As soon as I get up, I'm pretty much up. And I love it. I love the energy I have. So, fellas, I'm going to make more videos. I try to make these videos a little long because I enjoy the long format videos. I enjoy being able to listen to people talk about getting in shape, talk about their experiences, and when they do it in a long format, because usually I'm working out, usually I'm doing some type of, I'm at work, I'm doing something long format myself, so I like to listen to people who kind of help me kill the time and just keep me motivated, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, y'all, I'm signing out. It's your boy D Moore. I don't know if that's my name. My homies just call me D Moore, so I might just roll with that. But we gonna see y'all next time.